Broadcasting to Stoke-on-Trent and the world. This is Six Towns Radio.
Okay, joining me now is a multi-talented lady, Jazmin Sawyers. She's just come back from Glasgow, so you secured a bronze and you had to have that final jump just to get the silver. So what was running through your mind when you went into that final jump?
At that point, I was sort of already overjoyed because I knew that I got a medal, and that was such a big deal to me. And so at that point, I said, right, don't freak out yet. You've still got another jump. You could upgrade it. And so in my head was, right, give it everything, give it absolutely everything. You've got nothing to lose. And so I just absolutely tore it down the runway with the crowd. The crowd were incredible, all on their feet and screaming. And once I got out of the pit, saw on the board it was there, it was a feeling like I've never had before.
Yeah, because before the games, I think it was your coach Alan said that you were aiming for possibly top 6, and then Shara pulled out through injury, so it was all on you, so to speak, for the home nation. So did you feel some sort of extra pressure, or maybe it spurred you on to make sure you did get a medal?
You know what, I never really felt the pressure because there was just no attention on me. Even once it got to the point that Shara pulled out, I wasn't aware that people were then going to say, oh, Jazmin now needs to do it for us, because obviously I was down there just doing what I was doing. Because nobody had even really mentioned it from the point of view of me getting a medal. There was no pressure. It was, right, let's see what we can do. And even though I had a personal goal, that by the time I'd had the qualifying rounds and looked at the rankings, I had a personal goal of getting right up there with the girls. It was just so unexpected.
Yeah, so you pulled out season's best right at the end, didn't you?
Yeah, luckily it came when it mattered, and I think that bodes really well for the future in terms of the fact that being able to perform at championships when it really matters is when the medals are at stake. And the fact that I was able to go from bronze to silver, I'm really proud of that.
Right, so a lot was made in the Commonwealth Games and the media about sort of Usain Bolt's apparent comments about whether they live up to the Olympics and what have you, but, you know, from my perspective, I thought it was pretty damn good. What about yourself? Yeah,
everybody thought it was great, and whether those comments did or didn't happen, I don't know, but every athlete that I spoke to had an amazing time. You know, Glasgow put on a really great Games, and we were all really grateful for that. Everything was done really well, the organisation, the food, the competition itself. You know, no one's really got any complaints, and I think that what happened was the media grabbed a comment that may have been taken out of context and blew it up because, you know, it was one controversial comment in a million positive ones, so they're always going to hang on to that.
Yeah, especially with it being Usain Bolt as well. It's the face of athletics, isn't he, really? So.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's the face of our sport, and if you can get a story of him saying something controversial, then it's ideal.
Yeah.
But I think he's just so relaxed, he's probably said something without thinking about it, not really meant it, it's been taken out of context. And he didn't mean it. You could see him, he was having a great time. You know, all the athletes had an amazing time at the Games, and I'm pretty sure Usain was the same.
Yeah, he was dancing away to the Reclaimers, wasn't he, at one point? Oh, brilliant. And also, like I was talking to you just before about, there's a lot of staffed athletes there, so there's people like Adam Peaty who really put himself to the fore, and Ash Nelson in the 4x100, Keane Amadi. Also, there's Steve Lewis in the pole vault as well. So, do you think it's quite a good Games for Staffordshire as well as Team England and Scotland as well, who did really well with like people like Ailey Child as well, didn't they?
I think it's been a really positive time for Staffordshire. To see so many athletes from this area doing so well, it's really encouraging, and hopefully it can inspire some people to take up the sport themselves, and not just kids. You see, you might have seen in the marathon Steve Way, who's came from drinking sort of 5 pints a night and smoking 20 a day at his local, decided to turn his life around, and then went and finished 10th in the marathon at the Commonwealth Games. You know, this Games has hopefully been an inspiration to everybody, and shows the power of sport.
So Jazz, how have your sponsors helped you achieve your goals?
Well, at the minute I get funding from lottery funding, so the funding there from UK Sport is so essential to my performance. You know, it means I'm able to have the physio that I need, and it means that I don't have to take on a full-time job. And on top of that, I'm then supported by Adidas, who have been absolutely brilliant. They provide all my kit for me. And, you know, to have those kind of sponsors is really important. But we're always looking for help as much as we can. Because living as an athlete, some people think that there's money comes in, but it's not like that. You know, a lot of athletes are living very much paycheck to paycheck, trying to make it work so that we can train full time, because it's not like a normal job where you're guaranteed a wage at the end of the year. It's completely performance based, so if you get an injury, you know, the sponsors disappear out the window, so we're always looking for help.
For people who may be listening who want to get involved in local sport, where would you recommend locally? Somewhere like Northwood possibly? Yeah,
for athletics, Northwood Stadium's the place to go. That's where me, Steve and Ashley started, and all three of us come away with medals. You know, it's great, there's a great athletics club there, and everybody works really, really hard to make it the absolute best they can do. And I had an amazing start in athletics there. If it wasn't for everybody at Northwood Stadium, my old coaches Tony and Jim, I'd never be where I am now.
Absolutely, and we've spoken just there about you being multi-talented at the start as well. So we spoke here, it's a law degree, you used to be bobsleigh, and you're releasing some music as well. So tell us all about that.
Yeah, it's all quite busy. The bobsleigh's on the back seat for now. I did a couple of years of it, and got a silver at the Winter Youth Olympics. So the bobsleigh was good fun. I am intending to go back to that at some point, but my focus is long jump for now. The other stuff, I'm at Bristol University doing a law degree, and then I train at Bath Uni. So I'm based down in the southwest for all of that. And that you just have to be flexible about. The uni are really good about letting me train and work around that, so that works out. And then with the music, that all kind of came around as an accident. I learnt to play guitar last year, and had a friend that has pushed me to do sort of open mics and have a go and start writing some songs, and I did, and it was really well received. So I've been writing and recording songs with the aim of releasing an EP at some point. Yeah, that's fantastic. I'll have to get in the show sometime singing. And finally, so what's next for you? Obviously, you just come back with the silver medal, so the future's pretty bright if you got a silver. So I'd assume the only way is up. You're aiming for possibly Rio? That's what I'm hoping for. Next year is the World Champs in Beijing, and that's going to be my next target, because you've got to take it year by year. You can't 2 years before the Olympics be focused on that, because there's so much in between that and so much work you've got to do before you get to it, that you'll lose sight of it all. So Rio's in the distance, but hopefully it'll be there for me. But before then, I'm hoping to be at the World Championships next year. Absolutely, yeah.
And you're going to the European Championships this next week, are you? Or?
No, I've not got the standard for the Europeans, and that actually shows that though the Commonwealth medal is brilliant, it's not everything.
Yeah.
I still haven't jumped the standard to go to European champs, and that's significant. The Europeans is in some events is a strong quality competition, so it shows me that I've still got a long way to go. And because I was such an outside shot of a medal, I wasn't anywhere near sort of the standard for Europeans, so I've got a lot of work to do, and I know that while I'm really pleased with the medal, I've still got a long way to go.